7 plants. That's all it took for traditional communities to feed entire families for generations. No grocery store, no supply chain, no spring seed order. Most people today are one bad harvest away from dependence. I was too until I understood one thing. The forest doesn't plant in rows, it plants in layers. And once I rebuilt my backyard around that principle, everything changed. The real winners won't be the ones with the biggest pantry. They'll be the ones who turn their backyard into a self-replicating calorie machine. Today I'm showing you the 3-layer system, 7 specific plants that, once established, will feed your family for the next 20 years. And the part almost everyone misses, it starts with stacking, not just planting. The common mistake I see everywhere is treating the garden like a seasonal hobby. Plant in neat rows, harvest, clear the dead stalks in fall, leave the soil bare. That's not gardening, it's calendar engineering. I spent years on that treadmill, burning money on seeds and fertilizers every spring, until I realized nature doesn't work in lines, it works in layers. In a natural forest, plants occupy different vertical zones at the same time. Tall canopy trees, mid-level shrubs, and ground cover all coexist and support each other. The canopy protects the understory from harsh afternoon sun. The understory breaks wind for the ground layer. The ground layer holds moisture for everyone's roots. No zone competes with another because each one occupies different space, uses different amounts of light, and returns different nutrients to the soil. That's exactly what we're recreating in your backyard. There's a way to stop renting your food security and start owning it. If you're ready to build this kind of sovereignty in your own backyard, hit subscribe. We're rebuilding the system, 1 yard at a time. First, we need your long-term calorie base. At the top of the 3-layer system sit fruit trees on semi-dwarf rootstock, apple, pear, and plum. Semi-dwarf varieties keep the harvest within reach of a stepladder and let enough sunlight through to feed the layers below. These trees are your long-term food security, an insurance policy that actually pays out. In 5 years, they'll be dropping hundreds of pounds of food without you ever opening another seed packet. Here's something most people don't know about semi-dwarf trees specifically. A standard apple on full-size rootstock can grow 30 feet tall and take 8 to 10 years to produce well. A semi-dwarf tops out at 12 to 15 feet and starts bearing in year 3 or 4, with full production by year 5 or 6. One mature semi-dwarf apple yields between 200 and 400 pounds of fruit per season. 3 trees, apple, pear, and plum, can realistically give you 600 to 900 pounds of fruit annually once they hit their stride. Each tree has a specific role in the system. The apple stores the longest. Properly cellared, many varieties last 4 to 6 months. The pear ripens after the apple, which extends your fresh fruit window deep into fall when everything else is done. The plum comes first, in mid to late summer, and dries easily into prunes, one of the most calorie-dense long-shelf-life foods you can produce at home. Together, these 3 trees give you fresh fruit from July through November and preserved food well beyond that. Directly beneath those trees, we plant the second level, the understory. Here we use bush cherry and hazelnut. Cherries bring essential vitamins, and the hazelnut provides fats and protein, 2 nutrients almost completely absent from a standard garden. I noticed this when I looked at the price of organic nuts at the store. In your backyard, they grow for free. Spacing is what makes this level work. We plant these in the gaps between the larger trees, turning dead lawn into a wall of food. The hazelnut deserves more attention than it usually gets. It starts producing in year 3 or 4 and hits full yield by year 6, roughly 10 to 25 pounds of nuts per mature shrub. 1 ounce of hazelnuts contains around 180 calories, mostly from healthy fats. In a survival garden, fat is the hardest macronutrient to grow, and the hazelnut solves that problem. The bush cherry comes in earlier, often in year 2, and produces heavily by year 3. It's also one of the most cold-hardy fruiting plants available, which matters a great deal if you're gardening anywhere with real winters. I need to be real with you. I messed up big time here once. I know a lot of people get stuck on the actual layout, And honestly, the first time I tried this, I killed 2 cherry bushes because I didn't understand spacing. I planted them too close to the apple tree. They got shaded out by midsummer, and by fall they were dead. That mistake cost me 2 years. The thing I learned is that each layer has a non-negotiable minimum distance from the others, and if you get that wrong, the system works against itself instead of for you. That's exactly what the Backyard Miracle Farm system is designed to prevent. It maps the spacing and layout for you so you don't lose 2 years the way I did. If you want to see how it works, check out the link in the description. Here's the mistake that kills most gardens: leaving the ground exposed. In our food forest, the third layer is soft fruits, currants and raspberries. They grow fast and give you a harvest in the first or second year while your larger trees are still maturing. That early return is a big psychological win. When you're picking bowls of fresh berries while your neighbor is still pulling weeds, you understand the power of the system. These plants also act as living mulch, holding moisture and protecting soil biology. Currants in particular are underrated. Black currants contain more vitamin C per gram than oranges, and they produce reliably in partial shade, which means they thrive directly under your fruit trees where most plants struggle. Raspberries spread on their own through underground runners, filling gaps and suppressing weeds without any effort from you. By year 3, if you've planted them correctly, the ground layer is essentially maintaining itself. Together, these 7 plants form an ecosystem that sustains itself. The leaves that fall in autumn become fertilizer for next spring. Traditional food forests across Asia operated on this exact principle. They worked for centuries because they ran without outside input. People didn't depend on distant supply chains. They depended on the systems they'd built in their own land. The interactions between layers matter beyond the obvious. Hazelnuts form mycorrhizal relationships with soil fungi, which improve nutrient absorption for the trees above them. Raspberry canes, cut back in fall, decompose fast and add organic matter quickly. The fruit tree leaves are high in carbon, which balances the nitrogen the berries return to the ground. Each plant is doing something for the others, even when you're not watching. That's the difference between a garden you tend and a system that runs. The system is simple, but I want to be honest with you about one thing. The hardest part isn't the planting. It's the first 2 years when the trees are small and it doesn't look like much yet. I almost gave up in year 2. The yard looked like a mess. The neighbors thought I was crazy. And I had nothing to show for it except a handful of raspberries. Then year 3 arrived and the cherries came in heavy. Year 4, the hazelnuts started dropping. By year 5, I understood what I had built. To give you a realistic timeline, in year 1, you're planting and establishing. You'll get your first raspberries and possibly currants. Year 2 to 3, the bush cherries come in and the system starts to look like something. Year 4 to 5, the fruit trees start producing and the hazelnuts aren't far behind. By year 6, all 7 plants are in full production simultaneously. From that point forward, the main work is harvesting. Have you started your transition yet? Or are you still in the planning phase? Drop your city and state in the comments below. To recap, apples, pears, plums, cherries, hazelnuts, currants, and raspberries. 3 layers, 7 plants, 20 years of food. Don't wait for prices to force your hand, but also don't expect the system to announce itself early. Give it time. If this video helped you see your backyard differently, leave a like and subscribe. And check out the Backyard Miracle Farm if you want that step-by-step roadmap.